Where do they go? The ones that run away and never return.
There is nothing here but suffering. Pain and suffering. It is time to go.
Congratulations on Underground. You all did a phenomenal job from top to bottom. And, to start out, there was a scene where an enslaved man, Jasper, said something that I thought was really poignant. He said, "Y'all can't touch me. I'm free." And I'm just loosely quoting here. But with that, I'm curious as to what you think that freedom means.
I think freedom can be many different things. It depends on where you are in your life or your journey. And I'm speaking now of like the spirit and of the mind in a certain way. I think Jasper is a man who's born into a time where his body is not free, and yet he doesn't allow that to consume him totally. And so I think what he's trying to say to Cora is, I am transcended this experience. In here, there's nothing that is affecting me. And what I love about it, and the character Jasper is someone who, from the book to the show, has undergone a radical transformation. I think the example of the unbroken spirit is something that Jasper has really decided to hold on to. And I think it's something he's there to share and teach Cora. There are people whose bodies are free, but their mind is in captivity as well. And I think both of those states are very compromising. And Jasper can't do much about his body being possessed, but his mind, he has completely freed it.
This is a story of obviously slavery and survival. Do you believe, and there's obviously been lots of conversation about trauma and not wanting to see, with the ongoing police shootings and such, do you believe that we could tell a story about Black survival without the trauma?
We certainly could. I do think for this time period, I'm going to say we certainly could. But I think that we need to acknowledge the trauma in order to understand what the characters are surviving, what the characters are conquering. Because I think in this case, Cora does conquer, and at least in a very acute way, the thing that is trying to subjugate her, the man that is trying to subjugate her, I'll say. And for the 4 years of making the show, Make America Great Again was everywhere. And I think what that shows me is there's like this willful ignorance, this blind spot in what the foundations of America are built upon and the things that actually happened in America. I think if we allow those blind spots to proliferate, if we don't acknowledge that these things happened, they're going to repeat themselves. And these slogans are going to continue to have the power that they have. And so I do think it's important to acknowledge the trauma. And I think out of that trauma, I think the survival that you mentioned, I'm glad you led with that. To me, that's the most important thing. There's only 1.5 of these episodes take place on the plantation. The other 8.5 are about survival and are about victory, ultimately, in the end. So I think you can, but I don't think right now, for me, that is the prerogative. It's interesting for police because it's like, man, when the trailer dropped, people were coming at me on Twitter. Somebody was like, "Oh, I don't want to see images of slaves. I want to see positive imagery." And I have a degree in English, so semantically, it's like, oh, so any images of slaves are inherently negative. Any depictions of my ancestors are inherently negative, and I can't accept that. I just won't accept that. I'm very proud to be the descendant of blacksmiths and midwives and healers and herbalists. Very damn proud of it. I would rather be the descendants of those people than the descendants of kings and queens. Kings and queens have subjects. Subjects means subjugation. I am so damn proud of my ancestors, and I don't think their image is inherently negative. And I think showing the things they transcended, so you and I can sit here and have this conversation today, that I could create images in their honor, there's nothing more positive than that.